Just from the name of the chapter alone, I can tell that what is going to happen might happen, but at the same time, I am desperately hoping that it doesn't happen, because I really want this to be different. I really hope this will be different. So anyway, here we are with more empathy. Chapter 13, Up in Smoke. The S.F.I.T Expo student showcase is past. Hiro has managed to get in to San Francisco's Technology Institute, college, whatever. And things are all looking up for our heroes. So, let's see what will happen in this chapter that will make it all go. That will... Basically, we'll have to wait and see if this chapter will make it all go up in smoke. That was lame. I could do better. This is chapter 13, Up in Smoke. Hiro's group of friends and family were laughing and chatting happily with one another as they made their way out of the expo hall, descending the stairs towards the parking lot. "I can't believe it," Hiro said, an amazed expression on his face as he looked down at the letter of acceptance still clenched in his hand. "I literally cannot believe it." "Believe it," Tip spoke up, playfully punching Hiro in the arm. "You earned it." "Yeah, believe it, just like Naruto, Tatebeo." "People were amazed by the microbots, Hiro," Riley added from Hiro's other side, practically buzzing from the positive emotions that surrounded them, as she began to lower her mental shields. "Nobody deserves this more than you." "Well, I didn't do it by myself," Hiro stated, smiling at Riley. "Please," Riley replied, rolling her eyes at the boy. "You designed and built these things by yourself. All I did was show them off. You deserve everything you get from that." Hiro continued to smile at Riley while Cass cleared her throat, bringing everyone's attention to her. "Alright, geniuses, how about we feed those brains?" Cass questioned as the group reached the parking lot. "Let's head back to the cafe because dinner's on me!" A round of cheering came from the younger members of the group as they all began making their way to their respective vehicles. As they did, Tadashi lay a hand on Hiro's shoulder, causing the boy to pause as his brother led him to the side. "And Cass," Tadashi spoke up, catching Cass's attention. "We'll catch up, okay?" "Sure," Cass replied, before grinning as she rushed over to her nephew's sides and pulled them both into a hug. "Oh, I'm so proud of the both of you." "Thanks, Aunt Cass," the brothers said in unison, smiling at their aunt as she released them and made her way back over to the group. After she had left, Tadashi signaled for Hiro to follow him. Together, the brothers took a short walk out of the parking lot into a small park near the expo hall. As Hiro and Tadashi left, Riley watched them from over her shoulder, smiling as she went. As such, she almost bumped into her father when she suddenly found him standing in front of her. "Oh, hey, Dad," Riley greeted before her expression turned concern, as she felt a number of conflicting emotions radiating from her father. "What's up?" Bill paused, taking a breath as he continued. "I wanted to talk about something." "Uh-oh," Fear mumbled. Sure," Riley replied, confusion gnawing in her chest. "What about?" "Back there, with Mr. Cray." Bill paused again, chewing on his bottom lip for a moment. "You know who he is, right?" "Oh, yeah." "Yeah, that's easy," Disgust spoke up. He's a dirtbag. He's your boss, Riley answered, averting her gaze as she realized where the conversation was going. That's right, Bill confirmed with a nod. And if you know that, I'm guessing you know how rude you were being. You think that was rude? Ingrid questioned. Oh, you haven't seen anything, Pops. Bill, Jill began to say, concern in her voice, but stopped as Bill raised his hand, his eyes on Riley. I'm sorry for being rude to your boss, Riley said, before looking up and locking her eyes defiantly with her father's. But only because I don't want you to get into trouble. I'm not sorry for what I said to him. And why's that? Bill questioned, his voice neutral. I've heard things about him, Riley explained hesitantly, from people like Professor Callahan and others. From what I've heard, he's done some underhanded things in the past to get where he is. He's probably still doing them. He tried to steal one of Hiro's microbots. You saw him. Riley straightened up as she locked eyes with her father again. He's not a good person, Dad, Riley stated, almost challenging Bill to argue with her. Bill held Riley's gaze for a moment, before a small smile crept across his face and he let out a soft sigh. Perhaps he's not, Bill agreed with a nod. I know I've noticed things that seem a bit fishy. Ooh. I see. Good. You have? Riley questioned in surprise, caught off guard by her father's change in demeanor. Nothing big, but enough to put me on edge, Bill answered. Seeing what he tried to do tonight certainly isn't helped. Then why do you work for him? Riley questioned in confusion. If I had my choice, I wouldn't. But I didn't choose to work for him, Riley, Bill explained. He bought my company. If I don't work for him, I'll lose my job, and then how will I get by? How will we get by? Sometimes, as an adult, you have to make compromises. Sometimes it's the only way you can get by. The words of a wise man right there. Riley's face fell as she conceded the point. Oh no, Sadness moaned. What if he loses his job because of us? I never wanted you to get in trouble, Dad, Riley said, her eyes falling to her feet. Hey, don't worry, Bill said reassuringly, placing a comforting hand on Riley's shoulder. I'm not going to get into trouble. And if I did, well, I certainly wouldn't want to work with someone who holds grudges against 12-year-old girls. But you said, Riley started to reply, confusion playing on her face. You do have to learn to make compromises, Bill reaffirmed, but only up to a point. It's even more important to stand by your principles. I'm proud of you for sticking with yours. Riley could only smile at her father as she stepped forward and wrapped her arms around his stomach in a hug. Aww. Oh, that's so cute. Meanwhile, Tadashi led Hiro over to a small bridge that crossed a man-made pond at the center of the park, leaning on the railing and looking out over the campus. I know what you're going to say, Hiro said smugly as he leaned against the railing as well before putting on a bad imitation of Tadashi's voice. I should be proud of myself for finally using my intellect for something important. No, I was just going to tell you your fly was down the whole show, Tadashi replied with a smirk. Ha ha, hilarious, Hiro replied sarcastically before looking down, letting out a small squeak of shock and zipping his fly up, causing Tadashi to laugh. After Hiro had collected himself, he hit his brother on the shoulder and the two fell into a comfortable silence. Welcome to Nerd School, Tadashi congratulated, smiling as he looked over the S.F.I.T campus before turning his eyes back to Hiro. Nerd. Oh. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Hiro stated, looking like he was having trouble expressing what he was trying to say. So, thanks for not giving up on me. Oh my. Tadashi smiled and looked like he was going to say something more, but a sound caught his attention. A siren blaring from a short distance away. Oh no! Turning around, he looked back at the expo hall and gasped, prompting Hiro to look as well, as the siren began mixing with the panicked screams of dozens of people. Oh no! Don't you dare! Hiro's eyes widened, and his jaw went slack at the sight that loomed before him. Do not tell me that is what I think it is. It's a freaking event flag. The foreshadowing before, like the prank fire, the prank fire at the beginning of chapter 2, I believe it was. Oh my God! No! The expo hall was on fire, flames dancing within as smoke poured out of the windows and rose into the night sky. People ran from the building, a wild mob whose single purpose was to escape the danger behind it. No! Please, no! Tadashi regained his wits first, his expression shifting into a resolute mask that just barely concealed the fear he was feeling. Without a word, he went running back towards the burning expo hall, Hiro following on his heels as the boy snapped back to reality. As they reached the parking lot, the two began looking around wildly as the crowd of panicked people pushed past them. Tadashi! Honey's voice cut through the sounds of chaos that surrounded them, catching the brothers' attentions. Hiro! Looking towards the source of the voice, Hiro and Tadashi found Honey and the rest of their friends and family standing in the parking lot, a safe distance away from the burning building. The brothers quickly raced over, looks of relief passing over the rest of the group's faces. It's happening! It's freaking happening! It better be different this time! Oh, thank God you're alright, Cass said as she stepped forward and pulled both Tadashi and Hiro into tight hugs. Is everyone okay? Tadashi questioned worriedly as he stepped away from Cass, only for Honey to step forward and hug him while planting a quick kiss on his lips. We're okay, Bill assured the young man. What happened? Hiro asked as relieved Riley gave him a quick hug. We don't know, Gogo answered with a helpless shrug. It just went up like a tinderbox. Oh my God! A shrieking voice cut through the night, catching all of their attentions. He's still in there! Professor Callahan is still in there! What? A look of shock passed through the group as they turned to look at the burning building, watching as only a few people stumbling through the smoke and away from the ruin that was once the expo hall. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Tadashi stared at the building for a long moment, the fire casting dancing shadows across his face. As he did, Riley looked up at him, the fear of the people surrounding her, screaming like a typhoon as it ripped her mental shields to shreds. Her face was ashen, and one white-knuckled fist was clenched to her chest as her pounding heart threatened to leap from her body. But as she looked at Tadashi, Riley felt the young man push his fear down beneath a stoic wall of courage and determination. At that moment, Riley realized what Tadashi was about to do. Oh my God! Fear whispered in her head, her other emotions having gone silent as Riley reached out with her other hand and gripped Hiro's hand tightly. Hiro turned and looked at the girl in confusion for a moment, before following Riley's gaze, just in time to see Tadashi start moving towards the expo hall. "What are you doing?" Honey questioned, her voice on the edge of panic as she grabbed onto Tadashi's sleeve. "Robert's still in there," Tadashi answered, his voice quiet and firm as he took Honey's hand into his and gave it a squeeze. "Someone has to do something." "That's what firefighters are for, son," Bill argued, Jill clutching desperately at his arm. "They'll never get here in time," Tadashi replied. "If we don't do something now, he'll die." "Wait for the freaking firefighters to come! They'll make it! You don't know that! They'll make it in time, hopefully!" With that, Tadashi turned and began running towards the expo hall, only for Cass to latch onto his arm. "No!" Cass shouted, the firelight reflecting off of the tears that threatened to fall from her eyes at any moment. "No! You are staying right here! Listen to her, Tadashi, please!" "And Cass, I have to help him," Tadashi argued. "He's in danger!" "So are you!" Cass snapped. "I can't let you do this! When she died, I swore to your mother that I would protect you, Tadashi! I gave my word!" "Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!" Tadashi stared at his aunt for a moment, before taking her hand into his and squeezing it with both hands. "And I give you mine," Tadashi assured her. "I'll be okay." "Oh my god! I want to believe you, but no, you will. I want to believe you will be, but I saw the movie!" And with that, Tadashi Hamada turned and ran, faster than anyone who could stop him. "No! Tadashi, no!" Hiro shouted as he ran after his brother, rushing past his aunt who stood in stunned silence. Tadashi paid no heed to his brother's cries as he raced towards the burning building, his speed causing his hat to fly off his head as he bounded up the stairs. The hat landed at Hiro's feet just as some of the others caught up to him and stopped him from following his brother into the flames. "Oh no, 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 wait, if it goes to Tadashi's POV, maybe we'll be able to follow him into the flames. Maybe he could possibly survive. Maybe he could possibly pull out a miracle. Maybe he could possibly find Callahan. I am spitting on my phone like a mother fricker." Tadashi hissed as he reached the expo hall entrance, the heat radiating off of the roaring flames so intense that the young man was briefly worried his skin would melt right off his face. Lifting up his jacket, Tadashi shielded his face and exposed skin the best he could, and plunged into the furnace that the expo hall had become. "Find a fire extinguisher, man! Find it! There's gotta be someone in the S.F.I.T building! God! Oh my god. I've gotta calm down. Just keep it together. "Professor Callahan!" Tadashi called, coughing as he did his best to not inhale the smoke that clouded the rest of the building, the snap and pops of the fire surrounding him making it difficult to hear. "Robert! Can you hear me?" Tadashi stumbled about, coughing as he searched, the angry glare of the fire and clawing black smoke making it almost impossible to see. Eventually, though, Tadashi spotted a figure a short distance away, and hope began rising in his chest. "Professor!" Tadashi cried as he approached. "Professor Callahan, it's—" Tadashi froze as he came close enough to see the figure clearly. The figure had indeed been Robert, who now stood before Tadashi with the microbots pulled around his feet and the neural transmitter held in his hands. Robert spun around as he heard Tadashi approach, his eyes wide with surprise. "Tadashi actually made it to see... Oh my god!" "Tadashi!" he gasped. "What are you doing here? It's too dangerous!" What are you doing?" Tadashi questioned, confusion written across his face. Why do you have... Tadashi trailed off as realization struck him, shock coloring his features as he narrowed his eyes at Robert. You set the fire, Tadashi stated, his hands clenching into fists, his confusion giving way to betrayal. Why? So you could steal my brother's invention? Tadashi, you have to get out of here! Robert urged, hissing as a plume of flames shot up nearby. Answer me! Tadashi snapped, glaring at Robert. Robert began to say before his face went pale and his eyes widened as he looked at something behind Tadashi. Wait! Don't! Don't do what? Before Tadashi could react, something hard and heavy struck him on the back of the head, causing his vision to flash white as the young man fell to the ground. Jesus Christ! Tadashi's ears rang, and the world seemed to spin around him while his skull throbbed in agony. Grunting in pain, Tadashi began trying to pick himself off of the floor, his vision blurry as he blinked his eyes rapidly. Did you do that? Why did you do that? Tadashi heard Robert shout, though his voice sounded muffled and far away. Oh my god, so Tadashi was attacked at the expo? And how was he freaking attacked? Who freaking attacked him? What? You are faking's the debts, correct? Another voice said as Tadashi felt someone walk past him and drop a metal pipe onto the ground, though he couldn't lift his head enough to get a look at the person who had struck him. You cannot be dead if someone is known as you is alive. I know him! Robert argued as Tadashi pushed himself up onto his knees and elbows, his pounding head still hanging towards the ground. He's a good man! He was trying to save me! I can't just... You are hazing a choice, Professor Robert Callahan, the other voice sneered. Him or her? Who's her? I haven't seen up to the point in the movie that... Oh my god! There was a pause as Tadashi lifted his head up, but his spinning vision and the heat from the flames made it impossible for him to see anything more than a few blobs of color floating in front of him. Damn you, Robert growled. God damn you! Oh, it amuses me that you claim to be a man of the science, but cling to such silly superstitions. The other voice said with a chuckle as Tadashi managed to get his feet under him. This is why we are being superior. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ! Please, 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 no! Standing up, Tadashi managed to keep his balance as his head and vision continued to swim. Head throbbed. He thought he saw Robert look in his direction, but that didn't matter now. The only thing that mattered was getting out of the building while he still could. Are the microbots even fireproof? Tadashi Hamada turned and ran as fast as his legs could carry him. Oh my god! Please! Please get out of there, Tadashi! Just freaking run! What? Tadashi heard the second voice cry out in alarm, muted by an explosion that happened somewhere on the other side of the show floor. Oh no! No, no, no! Come on, you can do this, Tadashi! You can do this! Run, Tadashi! Run! Run like the freaking wind! Run, Tadashi! Robert shouted after the young men as a second, larger explosion shook the building. Run! Tadashi ran harder and faster than he ever had in his young life. His legs burned almost as much as the hot air that surrounded him, and his lungs spasmed painfully as his quickened breaths dragged choking smoke into them. The wound on the back of his head pounded against his skull like a jackhammer, and flames snatched and grabbed at him hungrily. His vision continued to blur, and it was only a sense of direction that took back towards the expo hall's entrance. But Tadashi ran all the same. Yes! Yes, you can freaking do it! The fear that gripped his heart began to lessen as he found himself approaching the entrance. The glass door stood before him, and Tadashi could almost smell the cool, fresh air beyond. He was going to make it! He was going to... Come on! Just jump! The third, most powerful explosion ripped through the expo hall, unleashing a concussive wave that shook the building to its foundations. An immense fireball roared out of the structure, shattering every window as plumes of flame stretched out towards the night sky. No. 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 No! Tadashi Hamada did not make it out of the building. He never heard his brother screaming his name as he tried to get into the expo hall, forcing Wasabi to physically lift him off the ground to stop him. He was never aware of his aunt wailing in heartbroken agony as tears streamed down her face. He never saw Honey collapse to the ground in shock, a lost and hopeless look on her face. Tadashi Hamada never witnessed any of this. But Riley Anderson did. Riley witnessed every last one of these moments as she clung desperately to her mother. She saw every look of anguish, heard every cry of sorrow, and felt untold amounts of fear and sadness. Every reaction to the tragedy was hers to know and experience, felt dozens upon dozens of times over, all of it branded into her mind by an inferno of agony. Riley Anderson stared at the burning building, her blue eyes seeing everything and nothing, and somewhere deep inside her, a glowing blue and purple orb of cracked glass rolled down a chute and came to a stop with a soft clink. Why? 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 No! Finmonster! Why would you freaking do that? Why would you freaking do that? Office note. Short chapter, but I think that it helps it more than hurts it. Certainly had a powerful effect on me as I was writing it. Hope it had one on you guys as well. Also, I will be going on a trip this coming week, so nobody freak out when you don't hear from me. Why? Why would you do this?